Okay, it's Thursday. It's February 2nd. My name is Dee Corchin, and it's our monthly team call. We do this on the first Thursday of every month for our clients and coaches, just a opportunity to gather as a community. We live across the U.S., and we see each other a lot on our Facebook group, but it's always good to get together in this kind of format. And what we try to do with these calls is really pick a relevant topic, something that we've been maybe hearing from our clients, maybe something that we think will be very relevant to where we think most of us are in our health journey. And something that we talked about, and I plan these calls a lot with our executive directors, health coaches on our team. And we just thought, it might be good just to take one call and kind of slow down a minute, and let's just actually talk about the weight loss component of our program. Most of us are on program. We're doing great. We know it works, right? But there's science behind it, and there's a reason why it works, and there's a reason why it works probably better than anything that you've tried before. And of course, our weight loss program fits into our bigger picture of our health program. Our real goal is to be able to transition and move into all the habits of health so that you sustain your healthy weight for life. But tonight, we're going to talk primarily just about the weight loss component. So we're going to start. I'm going to let Julie Apple, who is a personal trainer. Julie lives in the Charlotte area, Charlotte, North Carolina, and she has worked with clients for years, helping them lose weight in a variety of ways. So I'm just going to let her kind of talk about the specifics of our program, the distinctions between our program and how you might typically think about losing weight, and let her just kind of elaborate on that for us. So do you want to unmute yourself, Julie?
Sure. Hey, guys. So if you are on the phone or on the call, I see Anita over there. I got to share this a couple weeks ago when we got together in Charlotte, and I think it's an important part of our program, but most of us don't really understand or know kind of the basics of why do we do the program the way we do, and how does it actually work in our bodies. So I've been training clients for several years, and for probably 3 of the first years that I was a trainer, actually probably longer than that, 5 years, I'd say, all I did was a calorie deficit. So most of you guys are probably familiar with calorie deficit. If you've tried Nutrisystems or SlimFast or Weight Watchers, all those basically restrict your calories, and it's putting you at a deficit so that your body loses weight. Now, when I learned about Take Shape for Life, I did not have any idea of how the science worked behind the background. So that's and the behind the scenes, that's what I'll share with you guys in a second. But with the difference is when your body is in fat burn, your body typically uses your carbs for energy. So instead of your body using your carbs for energy, your body actually turns to your fat stores. And that is why you may notice the first few days you actually feel kind of lethargic and you feel weak. It's because your body's converting from using carbs as energy to using your fat stores. So over time, what I noticed is as I trained my clients, we would do a ton of work. They would work out with me multiple times a week. They would try to control their food, and I would help them make meal plans, and it would be a calorie deficit, maybe 1,200 calories. And we would do a ton of work, and they'd step on the scale and they'd lose a half a pound. Maybe y'all relate to that. Yeah, raise your hand if you're on the call and you relate. So that would drive me crazy as a trainer. My clients would get frustrated. And finally, I reached out to Dee after years of her telling me. I was watching her pictures of transformations on Facebook. And I was like, all right, you've got to tell me what the secret is, because your clients are doing far better than mine. And so after talking to Dee and doing research, I realized, okay, there's science behind this. And so your body, instead of just limiting your carbs, you're changing how your body is burning your fat. And so all of a sudden, my clients, I started introducing this to them, and they were losing 3 pounds, 5 pounds the first week. And then after that, every week they were still losing a steady 1 to 2 pounds. And it was like magic, literally. Like we would joke, I joke with some of my clients. I'm like, it's magic, y'all. Seriously, you just follow the program, you train, you work out, and you're going to lose weight. It's predictable. So you guys are experiencing that. But the key is that your body, you have to learn how to manage and how to stay in fat burn. And that's what a lot of my clients in Charlotte, after we had the meeting, they were like, well, I didn't realize the importance of staying in fat burn. And that glass of wine, I didn't know what that actually did. So to give you guys kind of the basics, when your body's in fat burn, you're keeping your carbs, and your carbs are basically what keeps you in fat burn. And so your macros, you want them to all be at a specific range. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about that when you're on 5-1 or 4-2 because we have it set. You just follow the program and it works. But if you start adding to it or taking away, you're taking away your own results by changing what you're doing. So if you have a glass of wine, let's say, all of a sudden you probably increased your carbs, which is probably going to knock you out of fat burn. And then you're going to feel for the next day or so, you're going to have cravings, you're going to feel hungry, and you'll notice, oh my gosh, why do I feel weak and tired? It's because you probably had too many carbs and knocked you out of fat burn. So it's important, if you want to have maximum results, that you stay in that fat burn. And so I think Dee's going to touch on that in a little bit, and we'll have a couple clients share, but it's really amazing what your body can do. And so I had sent Dee a picture of a client that I trained at boot camps. And Michelle, I don't think she's on the call tonight, but she has rocked it and done amazing on the program. I trained her for probably 2 years, I'd say, at boot camps, and she came religiously, probably 6 times a week. There's her picture. So if you guys can see that. When she started, it was about a year ago, I left the boot camp where I was teaching, and she came up to me and she goes, Julie, do you think I can do that nutrition program that you've been doing with some clients? And I said, of course you can. So she started last year in March, and her personality is that if you give her the tools and you tell her how to lose weight or do anything, she's going to follow it and she's going to rock it. And you can see in her picture what happened in a matter of 3 months. Literally, she dropped 30 pounds. And I had never seen her below where she started in March. And she had been working out with me for 2 years every single day. And so you can see in this picture from March to June, that was the 30 pounds that she lost. And then what was awesome is she reached her goal, and then she kept losing because she kept to her workouts. But what's so cool is I still talk to her every month, and I ask her, how are you doing, Michelle? Oh, I'm still doing great. I'm still maintaining. At 40 pounds less than where she started. So she's done absolutely incredible, gotten below her weight. So you guys can see what happens when you change your bodies, the way you're losing weight and going from just a calorie deficit of trying to cut back and manage it yourself to all of a sudden the science of putting your body in fat burn. Look what's possible, because that's many of you are experiencing or have seen or have your own clients that have done this. So now Michelle is just maintaining, and there's a lot of other clients that are doing the same exact way. But it's just important for maybe you guys to understand the things that you take away. Like if you don't eat one of your 100 calorie fuelings, your body can actually go into starvation mode, which means you're basically just going to maintain and plateau because you're not losing. Your body's hanging on to everything that you're putting in, and so it's starving itself. So that's the difference of calorie deficit versus fat burn. Is there anybody that wants to pipe in or has a question before we keep moving? If you do, raise your hand. All right. So I think the one other thing I wanted to make sure to cover is the importance of eating every 3 hours. Many diets that you guys have probably tried is you're starving during the day, I'm guessing. Like you feel like you could eat anything, you're miserable, you're hungry. Well, that's how calorie deficits work, is you have to cut back on the calories. When your body's in fat burn, you actually don't crave anything. You're not hungry. You should feel energetic. You should feel really good, like in a happy place is what we call it. But the key to that is that you're fueling every 2 to 3 hours. And that's to keep your blood sugar even. That's also to keep your metabolism revved up during the day. So if you guys notice, if there's an afternoon where you end up missing a fueling, you probably feel ravenous by the time you get home for dinner. And that's what would happen typically on a calorie deficit diet, is you're missing out. And so you're just hungry and you want to eat anything you can find. So if you can keep your body in that fat burn, you don't get hungry. And it's because your body's using the fat stores to burn to give you energy. And so your body just starts to lose weight quicker. So that's the importance of making sure you're eating every 3 hours and making sure you don't skip your fuelings. And making sure you're measuring out your lean and greens, because that's one thing I notice with clients. As soon as you start messing with that, you'll notice if you don't measure things out anymore, you're wondering why your weight loss is slowed. A lot of times it's because you're not sticking to the tightness that you had on day one. So if you're sitting there right now and you feel like you're sort of stalled, I would say make sure you're measuring out your lean and greens. Make sure you're not skipping those fuelings during the day. And then the last thing I wanted to make sure we touch on is just the importance of water. Most of you are probably like me where I wouldn't say at this point I'm like addicted to water, but you may not be quite there. I keep a water bottle all the time with me, and I make sure to fill that thing up all day. There's Beth drinking away. I love it. So make sure you're drinking at least 64 ounces a day. That's like 8 glasses. But if you can go for a gallon, that's even better. So imagine the milk carton that you may have in the refrigerator, the gallon jug. You don't have to be like the guys at the gym and carry around your milk gallon. But if you can think about keeping a water bottle full, and I keep a swell that's like 25 ounces. I know I have to get through 5 of those a day. That's my goal. So maybe just start working up. So if you're only drinking 8 glasses right now, and that's good for you, maybe try to drink 9. And then the next week you try to do 10. So you're just working your way up because it's hard. It's a new habit, just like the whole program is. It's developing new habits. But water will flush out your system and you will see bigger results every single time. Like when I call them to check in, I'm like, what'd you do different this week? No lie, every time I drank more water. So the more you drink, the more you flush out your system and the more results you'll see. So that's a huge, huge thing. And when we were at our meeting in Charlotte, everybody kept saying, yes, it's so true. The more water I drink, the more I lose. It flushes you out and you feel better as well. So there's a lot of benefits to drinking water, not just helping you lose weight, but it's definitely connected. So.
That was excellent, Julie. I was actually trying to quickly find in my nutrition support notes about the fat burning state that we use. It's actually called a mild state of ketosis, which means your body is releasing ketones, and those ketones are actually excreted through the urine. So that's why it's so important to drink the water, to just keep the system flushed, so that you do flush that out of the system. I was going to just point out an example. One of the things when I first learned about this program, the example that was given to me about fat burning versus the way we typically lose weight, which is the caloric deprivation that Julie described, is if we looked at somebody who had, let's say, an average needed to lose weight like 40 pounds they needed to lose. And that's very common. It's a very common number for people to need to lose that amount of weight. If we do it through caloric deprivation, like Julie said, the average person loses a half a pound to a pound a week. So they're going to lose 2 to 4 pounds a month. And if they don't get frustrated and stop, because we know that can be frustrating to lose 2 or 4 pounds a month, they would lose that 40 pounds in 10 months, right? So that's almost a year to lose that. And the American Council for Exercise says that when we lose weight that way, we're not only just losing fat, but we're also losing water, and we're also losing muscle mass. Because as Julie described, your body is going to tap into whatever energy sources it can get. The difference with our plan and the fat burning is it takes about 3 to 5 days for your body to convert from burning glycogen, basically carbohydrates for energy, to burn fat. And once you get to that, we call that the happy place. That's all the positive side effects of increased energy. Most people are thinking they have improved clarity, mental clarity. They've got the faster weight loss. And our clinical studies show that people lose 20 pounds in 12 weeks. So those same 40 pounds would take, 24 weeks or 6 months to lose versus 10 months. So that's a significant difference. And so we find, and we're going to lose just pure fat. So that's pretty exciting. And I think when you think about your weight loss goal, we know that the plan works. Sometimes the struggle is in the mental piece of it to stick to it. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the call, but just recognize that, that there's science behind it and why it works. And I wanted to have Susan Giesland. Susan is also an executive director, health coach on our team. And Susan's a fitness instructor. And so she had personal struggles with trying to lose weight, despite the fact she exercised all the time. And Susan, I'll unmute you, and if you'll just share a little bit about your story, and then if you'll introduce your client for us.
Can you hear me okay? Great. Hi. Yes, I've been a fitness instructor for about 14 years, and so I work out a lot, and I was kind of on the mindset that if I didn't eat the right foods, I could just work it off, and I'll just exercise, and everything will be good. And then I had that 20 pounds on me that I could not get off. And I tried I tried what I thought was eating right. I would skip a meal, or I would have an apple, or I would whatever. And I was introduced to this program and learned the way to fuel my body. And long story short, I got on the program, and for me, being a fitness instructor, I teach 5, 6, 7 classes a week. I work out every day. And I was able to lose over 25 pounds in about 9 weeks. That was my body. But the best thing about that was not only did I have the results I wanted, but I didn't feel hungry. I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel crabby. I didn't feel all of that. I could not believe how good I felt being in that fat burning state. And then learning the necessary things I needed to learn to maintain that weight loss was so key, because I've done all kinds of programs beforehand, but I didn't learn the tools necessary to maintain it. I didn't learn how to properly fuel my body. So that was, for me, a big aha moment in learning that, and how to fuel yourself every 2 to 3 hours. Never learned that protein carbohydrate ratio that's necessary, that your body needs that I would just eat an apple. Oh, that's healthy. Well, yes, it's healthy, but it's pure carbs and your body absorbs it very quickly. Pair it with a protein and it's another story. So I was thrilled with those results. And so as a result, I wanted to pay it forward and become a health coach. And one of my clients, Sandy, she started the program about a month ago, and she is just rocking it. And she's doing the program the way it's intended to be followed. You have all those components. She's following the program exactly as it's intended. She hasn't messed with any parameters of it. And as a result, she's had amazing results. So I'm going to introduce Sandy to you, and she'll tell you a little bit about her story.
You are unmuted.
All right, Sandy, you are unmuted.
Okay, I was trying to listen, and I was hearing my phone talk to me too. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Don't lose the call. Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy, and I have a great health coach named Susan that has just encouraged me all along the way. I started the program, like Susan said, I'm on day 30 today, and as of today, I've lost 20 pounds, and it's just amazing to me. When I got on this, I've been on all these diets or trying to eat healthy in the past, and I was at a point where, as I'm getting older, my body's going, I'm not letting you lose any of this. I was holding on to everything and was just totally frustrated. And as I told Susan, I said, I got to the point where I just did not like the skin I was in. I just felt uncomfortable. Something had to do something. I mean, I was exercising, I was trying to eat healthy, but I wasn't burning any fat. And I just kept seeing it increase around my waistline. And when I was reading the book and doing the waist to hip circumference measurements, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way that I have gotten to that point. So, I started the program, and I've been reading the book, doing my lessons, journaling, drinking my water. I mean, the first week, I know you shouldn't probably weigh every day, but I just had to get on the scale because I was like, I just can't believe this. When I started the program, I'm like, okay, I'll probably lose, 5 pounds the first week, 2 pounds, your basic. I mean, the first week I lost 9 pounds, and I'm like, that's just not possible. How can this be happening? So that just made me even more want to read the book and like, okay, what's going on with my body? Let me figure this out. How is all this happening? It's never happened like this before. So, I can't say enough about it. I mean, I'm not to my target weight goal that I want to be at yet, but as I shared with Susan earlier today, in not eating healthy in the past year with everything that's been thrown in your life and going on, I had stress, dermatitis, my hands broke out, couldn't wear my wedding ring. I am now wearing my wedding ring again. It's probably the first time I've worn my wedding ring in probably almost 2 years, because now I've got the weight off, my stress levels down, getting healthier. I went to the doctor this past week, and my blood pressure's down to where it should be in the healthy range for the first time probably in over a year. So, I mean, everything is just working. I mean, and people are now starting to ask, what are you doing? And I've shared it with a couple friends that, now or even one of them have gotten on board with the program as well. So, and as I'm trying to, get my health in a healthy state, and also, my family members, seeing my teenage son now eat spinach, because he sees his mom eating spinach and salads and vegetables, the vegetables that I should be eating. So, it just makes you feel good to know that, you're getting healthy, getting more energy, and I can't say enough about it. I just am totally amazed. So I appreciate Susan for introducing me to the program and keeping up with me here. So I don't know what else to say.
No, that is fantastic. Thank you so much, Sandy. I'm going to put you on mute just because when we're both on, it will echo.
Okay.
But thank you. I mean, I heard so many positive side effects as well. The fact that you have so much less inflammation now, that you can get your wedding rings on, and the dermatitis and all of that improving. And so that really was a reflection of what your nutrition was beforehand. And that big drop in water weight, I wanted to kind of address that 9 pounds in 1 week. When we are burning carbohydrates for energy and burning glycogen, it's called, for energy, our body does require water for that in our cells in order to process that way. Fat burning does not require the water in our cells. So it will release all excess water and inflammation in our body those first couple of days as our body is converting. So that's a good thing, because inflammation, Dr. A, I think it's chapter 19 in the Habits of Health book, has a book about inflammation. And there's a lot of risk and disease from inflammation in our body, excess water in our body. But so it's great to get rid of that. But I want to address what happens. We're working on our health and we're on this phenomenal plan, but we're also navigating life, right? And so maybe there's a vacation, or there's a wedding, or there were the holidays. Maybe something happens that you make a decision, and it purely is a choice whether or not you're going to deviate from the 5-in-1 plan, from the structure of the plan. And if we do deviate, regardless of what that choice is, our body will kick out of the fat burning state, and it will revert back to burning carbohydrates and glycogen for energy. As such, an immediate response is it will retain some water, because our cells need the water to burn energy that way. So it's happened before where someone will say to me, well, oh my gosh, all I had was blank. It was only, 50 calories or 200 calories or 500 calories. How could I gain 2 pounds, or how could I gain 3 pounds over a weekend? That little pop is a pop in water weight that happens. And as Julie said, if we make the decision to eat off plan, it will take us out of fat burn. So we do want to get back into fat burn as quickly as possible. And it can take 3 to 5 days to get back into fat burn. So it's just important when we're in our decision-making process, when we're faced with these choices outside the plan, is just to make a choice. Is this what I want to do? Because it will slow down the outcome. And whatever the decision is, it's fine. It's your journey. But at least if we can make that mindful decision and be aware of what the impact will be on our body, it'll just help in that process. What Julie said about the number of carbohydrates in the program, it really is important to manage that. So we do want to pay attention to extras, things as simple as sugar-free mints, gum, little things. So one of my clients one time, she kicked out of fat burning, and we could not figure it out. She sent me a log of everything that she was eating, and she was doing it perfectly. And then so we called nutrition support, and which is so nice that we've got these resources. And one of the first things they said are you taking any supplements? Are you taking any vitamins? Well, she was taking a product that was in a gummy form, and she was taking a couple of them a day. Well, with those gummy vitamins, they add sugar to them, which adds carbs. So she was adding like 8 or 9 extra carbs per day, and it was keeping her from being in fat burn. So just be aware of these little things, because it really, like Julie said, the science of the program does work. And so we want to keep the process of what's working, if you want to maximize and expedite your results.
One thing that's similar, I was just going to pop in real quick. I had this conversation with a client yesterday. Yogurts are another big one where I feel like it seems like, oh, I'm going to have protein from this yogurt, but you've got to pay attention to what type of yogurt. Like if you look at the vegetarian guide, it specifically says which type of yogurts, and that's because it's got lower carbs, lower sugar. So even little things like that where you think, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating Greek yogurt, it may not be. So you just keep your eyes out for that.
That is so true. And on a similar note, I recently had a conversation with a client, and she said, well, I just feel the need that I just really want to eat, real food, or, just, more foods from the grocery store or whatever. And so she was starting to create her own plan. And she said, well, what I'm doing is I'm just keeping track of things, and I'm matching the calories of the meal replacements. And so we had to have a conversation about that, because the meal replacements are so special, the fuelings that we provide, because they pack a lot of nutrition. You're going to get that 10 to 14 grams of protein, the similar amount of carbohydrates, the added fiber, and the vitamins and minerals. And they do all that for about 110 calories. To match that nutrition with whole foods, it's about 250 calories. So if we try to, we're not going to be able to mimic fat burning with trying to mimic the system. So if we alter the plan, we're going to alter the results. And most importantly, if you're trying to do it and keep your calories so super low, you are going to compromise muscle tissue, and it's just not going to be a healthy way to lose weight. So I thought I would touch on that just for a second, because depending on the amount of weight that we need to lose, we start this journey and we're so excited. And your coach probably worked with you at the beginning, talking to you about your goals, really setting and painting the picture of what you want to do with your health. And not only in terms of what do we want that number to be on the scale, but what does that reflect for us? What kind of freedom does that give for us in our life? Does it give us more energy? Does it let us be able to get down on the floor with our grandchildren? Does it let us be able to travel and go hiking? Give us freedom when we go in our closet and everything fits. But we start with a very strong goal and a really strong desire to achieve that goal. And then we get going with the process. Maybe we have the results like Sandy did of 20 pounds in a month. And oh my gosh, we feel fantastic, right? We feel fantastic, and the pants fit better and everything's better. So it's very common that our brain will want to kind of stop doing what it was that brought us success. And one of the best quotes that I know is from Andy Stanley, and he says, the only reason people fall from success in anything in life is because they stop doing the things that brought them success. And this does not mean you'll be on the 5-in-1 plan forever, but it does mean that you will probably always need to be mindful with your eating, and you still will be eating 6 times a day, and we will be managing carbohydrates and that sort of thing. And we'll teach you all that. But really, if you want to get your desired outcome, sticking with the process that works is your best result. And the more we play with the system, the more we go on and we go off and that sort of thing, it's going to just delay the process. And it's just going to drag it out. And we're going to end up into that situation when we talked about the person losing 2 to 4 pounds a month that gets frustrated and doesn't want to do it anymore. So that's why we're working with your health coach, working with our supportive community. What we're really trying to do is link arms with you and just help you move forward to what it was you really said you wanted, and not stop short of that goal. And we're coming up on Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm super excited in Atlanta because we've got the Falcons going to the game. So rise up. But I wanted to share with you this, something that was written by Dr. Anderson. Several years I got a hold of this, and it was really talking about our goals and stopping short, why we would not want to stop short of our goals. So I'm just going to read it. He says, this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and no matter what team you're rooting for, I'd like you to consider the following scenario. Your team is driving for the end zone with 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The score is tied. They're on the 10-yard line, and the camera zooms in on the quarterback's face. Suddenly, he smiles, and he turns to his defensive lineman and says, we've done a pretty good job this season. And we really knocked it out of the park to even get to this point in the game. We've overcome a lot of challenges, and just look at us. Here we are. We're at the Super Bowl. I think we're close enough to our goal. Let's just relax. Let's just leave the ball here on the field, and let's just go out and celebrate. Let's just go have some fun. So that sounds crazy, right? Why would you be in the final seconds of the Super Bowl waiting to make that final touchdown and just give it up and live it on the field? And we bring that up because we do see it happen. It's human nature. So it's just a perspective and analogy that hopefully you'll find helpful. So before I wrap it up, I do want to give a minute. I've got a couple of quick announcements before we close, but we tried not to make it like a science class for you, but hopefully it was helpful. Questions or clarification? I may need you to, I can't see everybody on my screen, so you might just want to unmute yourself if you have a question or comment. All right, well, thank you guys.
On the call?
What's that?
Is Tara on our call? The one who's posting the amazing recipes?
I don't know, but she's my inspiration.
Annette, is she saying no? Bummer. Okay. Y'all gonna need to go look at our Facebook group and look at all of her good recipes. Get some ideas.
Yeah, she is all over it with the recipes. So yeah, stay plugged in with our Facebook group, our Eat, Live, and Be Healthy group. It really is a great support mechanism until our next call. Our next call will be on the first Thursday. I do want to go ahead and wrap this up at 9 p.m., which is 9:01 right now. I posted it in our group. There is a call about health coaching, and we've talked about that can be a natural step in the journey, paying it forward and helping other people. And it's a great way to help keep yourself accountable, also to be compensated for it. So if you want to hop on that, I highly encourage it just to learn more about it. You can always talk to your health coach as well. And we'll wrap it up. It's 9 p.m. Thank you guys. And we're always available if you have questions on your journey. Thanks so much. Have a great night.